Hi, my name is Bailey Lounsbury, and for my final presentation, I decided to research the theremin. Furthermore, I'm going to focus today's presentation on Clara Rockmore, who many say is the greatest theremin player that's ever lived. So Clara was born in the Russian Empire, specifically in modern-day Lithuania, on March 9th, 1911. It became clear quite quickly that she was very musically gifted, being able to pick out melodies with perfect pitch on the piano when she was just 2 years old. Later, when she was 4, she auditioned on her violin for the St. Petersburg Imperial Conservatory and was given a perfect score. This was a very prestigious institution. Then, only at 5 years old, only a year later, she became the star student of Leopold Auer, who was a very renowned instructor, and many of his students went on to become famous concert performers. However, only a few years later, she developed a severe arthritic condition in her bow arm, which led to her inability to play the violin like she used to. Then, due to political reasons, Clara and her family immigrated to the US in 1921. And soon after this, she met Leon Theremin and was introduced to his inventions. And despite the fact that she couldn't play the violin anymore, she was still very musically inclined. And with the theremin, she was able to excel. Given her previous experience with instruments and the fact that she had perfect pitch, she soon became the best theremin player there was. She could play quite well despite her condition because, as she stated in her own words, it's about precision, not strength. She played 150 concerts in 3 years all across the country with bass baritone player Paul Robeson. Due to her success with the instrument and her close relationship with Leon, she actually influenced a lot of the theremin's development. For instance, she had Leon lower the height so that the player could be more visible. She also made the pitch antenna more sensitive so that it would be easier to switch between notes. And lastly, she had him change the pitch range from 3 octaves to 5. I'm now going to play a short video of her playing. This is one of her most famous performances, just to demonstrate what this instrument can really do. So unfortunately, I can't play the whole thing because this is a shorter presentation, but that performance is all over the internet if you wanted to watch the rest. Okay. Clara had developed her own unique finger technique, which allowed her to perform more fast-paced pieces of music and larger note leaps. She also wrote and released a series of exercises for aspiring theremin players, and these are still available for free online as per her request. And while the theremin was used in a lot of movies such as Spellbound and The Day the Earth Stood Still for sound effect purposes, Clara saw that the theremin had potential for so much more. And personally, I've really grown to love this instrument and can definitely appreciate how it is much more beautiful than it is creepy. And while the theremin was never utilized to the extent that she hoped it would be, it has been featured in songs by pretty famous artists such as the Beach Boys and Led Zeppelin. When looking at the history of the theremin, it was extremely important for the development of other electronic musical instruments. When Robert Moog was a young boy, he heard a theremin performance and became obsessed with building his own. Some years later, in 1964, he released the Moog synthesizer, which was the first ever music synthesizer. From that invention came many more advancements, and we all know how important the synthesizer is to modern music today. So without Leon Theremin and Clara Rockmore, it is very likely that Robert would have never thought to create his own instrument. And therefore, we have Leon's genius nature and Clara's amazing musical abilities to thank for the electronic instruments that we have today. And lastly, here's a copy of my works cited. If you're interested in this topic, some sources that were really insightful were The World of Women in Classical Music, a book by Dr. Anne K. Gray, which can be found in the music library. And I also really enjoyed watching Stephen M. Martin's documentary called Theremin, an Electronic Odyssey, which features plenty of interviews with Robert Moog, Clara, and Leon. Thank you for listening.